I walked the gloomy forest as I hit the dirt. My name is Jimmy. I had a mission, but I remember nothing. I see the black trees above me as I lay on the wet, dark patch of dirt. Where am I, and why am I here? My hands are shaking in distress, and my head is aching. I walk on the path, but my feet kick the roots of the trees that were not in my sight. I breathe hardly as I cross my arms to feel warmth. I sat down next to the tree trunk as I tried to remember what I had forgotten. No matter how long I sat by the tree, it was all for naught to remember. I shiver with fear as I hear a growl behind me. I try to relax, but couldn't keep myself calm. I dropped my hands to the leafy surface as I felt a cylinder right next to me. I grabbed the cylinder and couldn't make out what it was. I pressed a button on its bottom, which illuminated my surroundings. It was a flashlight. I embraced the light, hoping I could remember the colors of the forest that surround me. My brain gets some flashes that I couldn't make out. "Are you sure you want to do this, Jimmy?" Frank asked. "If what the legend says it's true, then I want to see it for myself," Jimmy replied in a deep voice. "Isn't this a bit excessive?" Peter inquired. "Just trust me," Jimmy said with confidence. "We can do this." I tried to remember what had happened. I remembered Peter and Frank, but couldn't make out how I was related to them, or if I'm related. As 5 minutes passed, I decided to walk through the forest with the flashlight on to guide my steps. I breathed hard, as if I was recently choked. I felt the taste of my own blood on the back of my throat. I take every nervous step forward as I tried to find a way out of the forest. But no matter how far I walked, the forest got darker and I was losing my sanity. I decided to see if I was still on the path, but I had appeared to have been off the trail. I see something, however, crawling on the ground. I take a closer look as a group of cockroaches came crawling out of the ground. I jump with a scare and start running. I continued on running, not caring what was on the ground. I tried to escape the terror, but it just kept on coming back to me as I am hearing voices in my head.
No, get away from me!
I jumped, looking towards the direction the voice came from, but I saw nothing. I couldn't run anymore as I tried to catch my breath. I later get another flashback. "Why are we doing this, Frank?" Peter inquired. "Who cares?" Frank replied. "Once they are gone, it's not going to matter." "How can you say that?" Peter shouted. "Jimmy, why do we need to do this?" "It's for everything that is necessary," Jimmy replied. "I shall tear through all the flesh and bones with no mercy." "Guys, why?" Peter snapped. "I don't want another day to go by where we are like this!" "It's all a part of the plan, Peter," Jimmy said. "Follow it, or we'll skin you alive, or you shall become one of them." "No," Peter begged. "Ever since we started this, we've become monsters." The flashback cuts off. Nothing made sense. Was I a killer? Am I a good guy or a bad guy here? And what is Peter fighting against? The worries of what I had forgotten worried me. I must have had a mission, but whatever it was, I couldn't handle another second being in this forest. I take a step forward as I hear a groan. I jump and look behind me. I saw him. Peter! But it wasn't Peter. He was misshapen and half nude.
"Finally,
The monster Peter drooled.
vengeance!"
"You're Peter?" I inquired for him to answer as I nervously stepped back.
"Just stay right where you are.
Peter groaned as he raised his voice higher.
I'm gonna rip you to shreds, you piece of shit!"
Before Peter could finish talking, his bottom jaw broke down, disabling his ability to talk. He starts running after me, and I turn around to run away. I was running with all my strength as I developed a cramp in my stomach. Peter's groan could be heard behind me. I took a look back, and he was gaining on me. I figured the flashlight was giving me away, so I threw it away. I kept on running as I see the trees misshaping the path I was on. I jump into the forest and run as deep as I can into it. Peter was further behind me now. I hide behind a large tree as I listen to the growls of Peter. Peter is coming closer. He was going to find me, and I knew I was going to die. I try to remain calm, but I notice cockroaches on my sleeves. I silently brush them off, but they weren't there. I realized it was just a hallucination. So does that mean Peter's a hallucination too? I decided to risk my life and step out, but Peter was absent and out of sight. I continue to walk through the forest as my sight is cracking. My headache is getting worse as I hear more noises.
Please,
A man cried in agony.
I have a wife and kids. I need to look after. I promise I won't tell anybody.
Peter stood in front of this man as he impaled a knife through his shoulder. The man gives out a loud scream.
Where is it?
Jimmy demanded.
I don't know.
The man shouts.
Just stop. I know nothing.
Fine, Jimmy snaps as he slashes horizontally through the man's neck. The head drops to the ground, leaving a bloody mess. I will find what I'm looking for. I couldn't believe what I saw. Did I really just kill an innocent man? What kind of person am I? If I was having this flashback, I had a theory. I looked down and saw a decaying head. It was too dark for me to see the detail. But as I continue on, a sharp pulse hits the back of my head and everything went black. I slowly get up with a massive headache as I see someone familiar in front of me. It was Frank. "Hello, old friend," he said as he held the knife to my throat. "Your sacrifice will never be forgotten." In an instant, my throat was slit. I slowly passed out as I felt the pain and the blood leaving me. I was gonna die.
No! No! This can't be! This is not possible! How can it be the sacrificer? It's not possible!
After a black moment and a glimpse of light, I wake up in the forest. It was daylight. My neck wasn't slit. How did it heal? But the horror of me saw that Frank was left dead next to my feet.